Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I've had Coach Brew on my program before, John Brubaker. You can learn more about him at Coach Brew. That's BRU.com. And, last time we talked about, the work you do in general and helping people build their business and build their career. I wanted to spend some time talking about a problem I'm seeing, and this is going to be the first in a series of experts. I'm going to be talking to some psychiatrists, psychologists, as well as coaches on a problem I see that's grown in recent years of really an incredible failure to communicate on the part of people when it comes to conducting themselves in business. And I sent a request out there to Haro, help a reporter out, and John was one of the people that responded to it. And I thought, yeah, he would be a great guest to get back on. He did a fine job before. John, welcome to the program.
Hey, thanks for having me, Kevin. It's a pleasure.
So I'm sure you've seen this phenomenon yourself. What I'm seeing is just a blatant failure to be communicative. Even though we have so many tools for communication, it's really quite ironic if you think about it.
It's kind of scary. And you have an entire generation of millennials in the workforce now. And there are 4 generations in the workforce, and they're not communicating well because you have all these millennials who basically talk with their thumbs. And they communicate without making eye contact, and they do it with basically a maximum of about 140 characters at a time. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And if it requires more than that, they're really not that interested in doing it. They just want to move on.
And we really are in an age of, digital distraction, and I think what everyone needs, Kevin, is a little digital detox, if you will.
Okay.
Because, social media has really become anti-social media, and communication has really become not interpersonal, but impersonal. There is so much clutter, on our personal dashboard, if you will, that a lot of things when we're trying to do business and, make transactions, that clutter interferes with it. I look at it kind of like, have you ever seen the lion tamer at the circus?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's got the whip in one hand, and he's got a chair that he's holding up towards the lion in the other hand. Well, the lion won't attack because it sees 4 legs of a chair.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's outnumbered.
Ah.
And it's basically distracted. And I think that's a great metaphor for what we're dealing with in the workplace. We've got, at a minimum, 4 different things being thrown at us at the same time, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, text messaging, instant messaging, voicemail. We just have so many things coming at us at once, we can't focus on one of them.
Meanwhile, they're always trying to add new ones. Google Plus, which is yet to gather traction, being an example.
Yeah, let me put that on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and don't forget my cool pictures at Pinterest. Yeah, exactly.
I think I have a Vine video of that. It's ever changing.
Yeah.
And communication simply is a process of sharing information in such a way that your idea is clearly understood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
And I love to use sports metaphors. I'm a coach. If a quarterback's throwing 5 footballs to one wide receiver, how many of them is he going to expect to be able to catch at one time?
Mm-hmm.
You only catch one ball at a time, and we just have too many balls in the air. And I encourage these digital detoxes because there's a tremendous amount of, as you talk to these psychologists you're going to interview, you'll hear this too, there's a tremendous amount of research out there that interpersonal face-to-face communication does something you cannot do with a computer screen, with a printout, with a telephone call. It builds trust.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, do you think there's a kind of a growing character defect as well? Almost like an ethical attitude, if you will, because sometimes these people will engage in communication, but they can't seem to bring things to completion, and it's like they dropped the ball entirely, and they don't tell you that Aunt so and so died, or they had they just stopped communicating, and then all of a sudden they might re-engage, often weeks later, and it's like, Oh, you mean there was a problem that I fell off the face of the earth? What's up with that?
Well, I think that for some people, there are probably a number of explanations, and they're typically bad ones. For some people, their mode of communication is a great cop-out. You don't have to demonstrate courage when you are sending a text or an email, and you look at all the online bullying that takes place. It's easy to hide behind a screen.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have to deliver difficult information, have a constructive conversation face-to-face, it takes more of an element of courage. And there's more integrity that has to be involved in that. I think that is the primary culprit.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Talking to Coach Brew. Coach Brew, BRU.com. You can check him out there at his website. And, so when you talk about detox, what does your regimen look like?
I block off I'd love to do it for longer, and you're inspiring me to want to do that. But I do it for every Sunday. I stay off of social media. Sunday is it's my day to kind of cleanse, if you will, to do that digital detox. I won't go on Facebook, Twitter, email, text. I try and keep my cell phone off, and I focus personally on family and interpersonal relationships, face to face. And I think we all need that break, that breath of fresh air to help maintain our focus, to help recharge our batteries, if you will. We look at our computers and they get so jammed up and cluttered with information. What do we have to do? We have to go into the control panel every so often and hit that button that says defragment. And when you defragment the hard drive, the computer's more efficient and runs more effectively afterwards. So Sunday's kind of, my digital detox is kind of how I defrag my hard drive, and I encourage everybody to do the same thing.
Yeah, and then you try to start afresh on Monday.
Exactly.
Yeah, spending some time here, Coach John Brubaker, Coach Brew, BRU.com. Encourage you to check him out. How's your book doing?
It's doing great. New book is Seeds of Success, A Leader's Legacy and the Lessons Learned, and people can find more about that at seedsofsuccessbook.com. Seedsofsuccessbook.com.
Coach John Brubaker, thanks as always for being with us.
Hey, my pleasure, Kevin. I love your show.
Hey, thank you. All right, I do want to encourage you to check out his book. It does a great job. I've read the book, I think, before that. Excellent content in that book. Check out him over there at CoachBrew.com. I'm Kevin Price. You're listening to The Price of Business. Do want to remind you, best content here, it shows up over there at the soon-to-be dramatically new and improved USDailyReview.com. Just looking at some cool specs of what they're doing over there. While you're at US Daily Review, make sure you like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter, and remember, it is daily review. That means you're supposed to show up daily to check out all the cool content. I'm Kevin Price. Stay tuned for more right after this.